Okay, so we need to talk about Social Security, and I want to give you a Social Security update because you will not believe the mess that we are currently in. Because we have a problem. And I don't think that is anything that is new, that is shocking to most Americans. We have a problem when it comes to Social Security. And no, it's not that Republicans or Democrats or anybody wants to see a cut to Social Security. That's not the problem. The problem is actually much simpler. Currently, lawmakers are attempting to come to an agreement on Social Security and Medicare. We know this, we've heard this, we've seen it. Now, they're trying to find ways to ensure that these two programs don't become insolvent within the next 5 to 10 years. And in doing so, lawmakers are letting other things go unnoticed. For example, one of the biggest worries right now, outside of seeing cuts, outside of insolvency, the biggest worry at this time is the costs related to Social Security and Medicare. Now, what do I mean by that? How are costs going up? We haven't heard stories about this, right? Well, that is wrong. We actually have heard stories about this. However, it's not covered by mainstream media. You will not turn on Fox News and see them talking about the increased cost to Social Security. Chances are you're not going to see that on CNN either. Here's why. New forecasts now project that the cost of Medicare and Social Security are about to explode. The reason they're about to explode is because of baby boomers. This is all due to baby boomers that are reaching retirement age. Once more people start retiring, this is going to push both of these programs to their limits, which is why finding a solution to increase funding to reduce costs is a must in 2023. If we don't see this happen, there will be a lot of heartache. There'll be a lot of tough decisions. Lawmakers are going to have to make some tough decisions coming up because we either need to increase the amount of revenue that goes into Social Security and Medicare, or second option, decrease the amount of money going out, which means cutting benefits. That would be very difficult. Now, for lawmakers, they can't just throw in the towel now and say, you know what, it's too tough, it's too hard, we can't do it. We can't pass a bill because we have a divided Congress. Chances are we are still going to have a divided Congress tomorrow. We're still going to have a divided Congress in a week and in a month and in a year. It will be potentially in 2024 where we don't see a divided Congress. Until then, if lawmakers decide, you know what, it's just too difficult, we can't get something passed, so let's wait. The longer we wait, the harder it's going to be to pass something that would actually benefit both of these programs. Again, when we have put in millions, billions, trillions of dollars into these different programs over the years, why are we going to do that if we are not going to see anything out of it when it is time for us to retire? It just makes no sense. Now, here's what I can tell you. Lawmakers are doing what they can to find a way to ensure that both of these programs are around for decades to come. Now, initially, this is back 2 years ago, or 3 years ago actually, but President Biden proposed raising taxes for high earners. This was his plan. This would increase benefits for some retirees. It would increase in benefits for a lot of retirees. But in order for him to do this, he would have to raise taxes for everybody, not just the high income earners. Because it wasn't just Republicans, it was Democrats as well that said, no, we cannot just target a specific group of people just because they have a little bit more than others. We can't do that. But we can tax everybody a little bit more. And just by increasing taxes a little bit, this could bring in a lot of money in revenue for Social Security and for Medicare. Now, President Biden also followed this promise, this proposal of raising taxes and increasing benefits. And his plan was to increase benefits by $200 per month. Well, he followed this up by saying that he's not going to tax anybody that makes less than $400,000 per year. Not a penny more in taxes. So as of right now, he is still sticking by that. That no, if you make less than $400,000 per year, you will not pay a penny more in taxes. That's a problem. And the reason that's a problem is because only the first $160,000 and $200 of income is taxed for Social Security and Medicare. After that, nothing gets taxed. So there's a lot of money that could potentially be taxed, and this additional revenue could go into Social Security and to Medicare. But as of right now, it's not happening. But again, the big thing now more than ever is the costs. Costs are now being considered. And it is because of the debt ceiling that this fight is currently going on. Because according to the Congressional Budget Office, he said this just the other day, that they say that the Treasury would run out of money between July and September. However, this could actually happen much sooner if the revenue the IRS receives this year is lower than expected. But we won't know that until April, maybe a little bit after that. So here's what I can tell you. What we know and what I can tell you right now is that both parties are locked in. They're locked in, and if they don't deviate from their current plan, we are going to have a major fight on our hands. We know President Biden and Democrats, they want to raise taxes on corporations and high income earners. We know Republicans want to cut spending on other federal programs, some of which the Biden administration has passed in the last 2+ years. So that's kind of where we're at, is that we are either going to go down one of these two paths, or we're going to negotiate. And that's the more likely option at this time. But either plan still doesn't change the inevitable. And that is that the costs that are associated with Social Security and Medicare are going up. And unless more revenue is brought in, unless we see less benefits going out, both of these programs will become insolvent at a much sooner date, which would result in a smaller payment each and every month. And I know that's not something that the American people want. They need their full 100% of benefits moving forward. If they only get 77 to 78%, that's a problem. Think about it. Let's say you get $1,000 per month in Social Security benefits, but yet once it becomes insolvent, you only get 77%. That means that you would only get $770. That means, what is that, $230 every single month you would miss out on? That means there's $230 less for food, $230 less for utility payments, $230 less for putting gasoline in your car, paying for medications, or just putting money aside and saving it. It won't be there. That's a problem, because I guarantee most average Americans, that means lower income and middle income households, they would struggle if they lost 23% of their income every single month. And let me know down in the comment section below. Could you survive if you lost 23% of your income every single month and you knew it was coming? For most people, they would say no, not a chance.